Green hydrogen is a very excellent technological development that consists, in summary, of applying electricity to water to generate a fuel without emissions. But it is a product with a high production cost, still experimental, and its demand is non-existent. So, why is a green hydrogen plant going to be installed in Paysandu? We will try to determine what it is. If there were supply and demand for HV today, the product would have a value between 2 and 3 times higher than that of common fuel. If we apply the same taxes and distribution costs, the value could be between 4 and 5 times higher. It is not a competitive product. But they have proposed replacing petroleum-derived fuels with this type of energy, which, like any product labeled green, ecological, or non-polluting, is very expensive. Therefore, to make it competitive, taxes, penalties, and even circulation bans are applied to fuels derived from petroleum. So, why install a green hydrogen plant in Paysandu? We verified 2 situations. One of them is that Uruguay is already playing green hydrogen. It is investing $10 million in a forestry freight transportation system powered by green hydrogen. And the second, more important perhaps, is that it could be an energy-producing country to avoid outsourcing, just as happens with oil. But belonging to the world of green hydrogen has obligations. In Chile, which has a similar green hydrogen plan as Argentina and Uruguay, although much more advanced. In fact, the company that will be installed in Paysandu already has a plant in Magallanes, in operation. They have been explicit in the sense that green hydrogen will be favored, applying green taxes to fuels and penalties to emissions. Therefore, we can infer that Uruguay will commit to applying more taxes on fuel, penalties on emissions, and prohibition of circulation, in certain areas, to vehicles that are not electric or with hydrogen or green. Let's keep in mind that when we buy a product, the price we pay for it includes the cost of energy to produce and transport it. So if we increase the cost of energy through green taxes, it means that the cost of living will also increase. In the last century, European countries, the United States, China, and also India, have dumped monstrous quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. They still do it today. They didn't care, and they don't care either. Because the fundamental thing has been its economic development and well-being. These are the same countries that today demand that others submit to the carbon mandate. What is notable is that this regulatory nonsense is based on the reports of only one organization in the world, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, dependent on the United Nations, which is an organization that is severely questioned because it does not allow other organizations or independent scientists access the data they use to make their apocalyptic projections. Countries have the right to be as green and ecological as they want, but they have to eat every day. And that is where Uruguay should be. Quality food producing country, which was born with livestock and developed with agriculture, 2 activities that the carbon mandate aims to reduce or eliminate. Therefore, we should be cautious with expectations and ask for rationality to avoid signing commitments that we may regret. I am Walter Raymond, journalist, and I invite you to read the article with more information so that you can draw your own conclusions. Green hydrogen, Uruguayan prodigal son,